Doing what?
That.
Do your like little opera thing.
I don't know it.
Just gargle your vodka. Gargle your vodka. That'll clear everything up.
Think so?
Yes.
Yeah.
I'll spit it everywhere.
Do I think so?
Pardon?
Things back in your tooth.
Really?
Yeah.
I do have a chipped tooth. Yeah, whatever.
Josh, can we see if we can zoom in on this later, please? That tooth,
Where's Josh?
please.
Tango 1 at the top, we are at Papa Coco. 10-4, Tango 1, you have control. Tango 1 copy. Stand by. Stand by.
Integrity, passion, resilience. That's what this place was built on. That's what our community is founded on. Don't act like the example, just be the example. This is the home of the greatest fitness community in the world. We're trying to create strong, able bodies, resilient to injury with a gas tank to get shit done. If there's one thing from this podcast, it's about taking immediate action. Find the problem, fix the problem. This is your opportunity. It's either a hell yes or a fuck no. It's that simple. You're ruined after the Tango 1 podcast. Now is the time to take action. Now's the time to do more and be more.
All right, welcome to the Tango 1 podcast. I'm Tony Smith. I'm a retired tag team leader and the owner of the Garage Gym and founder with my wife, Dani, who's here with us today. I'm joined by my friend and co-host, Casey Wright. Our mission is to challenge you to guide you to create an immediate action plan against your problems and weaknesses. We want you to do more and be more. Today in our studio, we are pumped to have our entire team here, almost our entire team. We're missing Nikki. But we have with us Steph, who is our director of finance and HR. We got Riley, who's our director of marketing. Nikki is not with us because she's ill-willed today, I guess, and she's not ill-willed. She's not feeling so well.
In Kingsville.
Yeah, she's working in Kingsville. She's our director of sales. Of course, you guys know Casey. He runs our training and all things internet. And we got Dani with us, who's our GM and the boss, basically. So this gym, all of us hold the title of trainer, but we all wear different hats, and that's kind of the hats I just told you guys about, and I think that's one of the things that separated us. So we're really kind of pumped to have you guys with us as we're passing the quarter century mark in our episodes. Not sure if this one will be 25 or 26, but right there we wanted to have you guys on here. So let's get rolling. Steph, let's start with you. Since you're the most nervous, let's just jump right into it. Steph, you got a crazy story about how you kind of became part of this gym. Not how you became part of this gym because you walked in as a member, but you kind of snuck in on us. We hired you as a bookkeeper, and then next thing you know, here you are, basically running the place.
Yeah, it's been great. I started as a member in your garage, and I spent a lot of time with your dog that night.
Yes.
Out in the bushes. Yeah, and then...
What does that mean?
So Steph, we put her
Elaborate.
So my first workout in the garage.
I think it was an IWT or something.
I think so, because
Yeah.
I remember rowing. And I had to run out 6 times to barf in the garden. And what was your dog's name?
Charlie.
And Charlie, me and Charlie spent a lot of time together.
Yeah, Charlie was cleaning it up for her.
Yeah, but
I felt so sorry.
I made
for
it back
you.
in every time.
Yeah, we still use Steph as the example, as it can't go worse on your first time than that. So when people are scared
Yeah.
coming in, and I'm like, now look at her. She's jacked. She's fine.
Yeah, and then...
And she still pukes on a regular basis.
Right. Just after the triathlon. Yeah, and then I was working at the bank, and then I ended up quitting there because it wasn't fun anymore. And then I was a member when you guys opened here, and you sent me a beautiful email and asked me to do your books and maybe train 1 hour a week. And then I think within a month, I was working maybe a month or two. I was working probably 10 hours training, and then it just kind of snowballed from there because you just kept growing and growing. So
Yeah.
so it became a bit more. Huh?
Tricked you.
Yeah. Tricky. So that's kind of my story, how I ended up here. And it was the best.
It's awesome.
The greatest decision.
Steph was one of, she's like you'd call it the example of hiring based on qualities, because we hired you because we loved what you brought to the gym. We loved how hard you worked and how humble and friendly you were. And then when we hired you, we had no idea that you were 3 people away from every single person in the town of Amherstburg. Like
yeah.
Steph knows, she knows almost every member who's been like in Amherstburg. If you're not like moved to Amherstburg like Dani and I, but you're actually from Amherstburg, Steph knows you. She knows your birthday. She knows your mom and where you lived or grew up. It is like, she's like, oh, go down to the 4th and at the Jones house, turn left, third house on the right. It's pretty hilarious. And then Riley, so we met you when you were, I don't know, 13, 14 years old. Was you that young and were we that old?
She was pretty fresh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We didn't start recruiting her at that point. That would have been weird, but me and Dani actually, and Steph too, we all played baseball with Riley's parents. So it was a really funny moment last weekend when we all went out somewhere and we had to stop by Riley's house to pick her up, and I had to knock on the door and ask her parents if Riley could come out with us, which is kind of a weird thing. So tell us about your experience. What's been like?
I came with my mom when she first started in high school. So back in high school, I started working out here. And then I stopped just because.
So like 3 months ago?
Yeah, just back last year. And then I stopped just because I wasn't really into fitness. I was starting school. Then I kind of got into kinesiology. Grew an interest into fitness. Saw you guys were hiring once. So then I sent you an email asking saying I followed you guys on Instagram forever. Loved what you guys did. Then just kind of saw you guys were hiring. Reached out. Started out as a smoothie girl. And then now, yeah.
And then the rest is history. And the rest is history. So pretty crazy story about Riley and the Murrays. Actually, I think they talked about on their podcast was we were sitting here in this office where our office is in the same studio having a meeting. And I said, do you actually want to work the floor here? Or do you just want to keep doing the smoothies and running some? And you gave us a hard no.
Yeah.
And then COVID hit and you have a HK background, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, and you're athletic and you like to work out, you like to train, but it was a hard no because you didn't want to speak in front of people.
Yeah, I know, I was shy, and then COVID kind of happened, and you said, like, if you want to kind of keep working here, you're going to have to train. You can't just come in during COVID and not teach on the live classes. So then it was a perfect way for me to kind of get into it because I got more comfortable in front of a screen, and then when it came in front of classes, I was like, this is easy.
Years of TikTok.
That's
all a Zoom workout is.
And now we get nothing but compliments about you and your training ability. What was like the biggest hiccup? What do you think was holding you back from doing that? What do you think helped you over that hump?
I think it was just confidence. I think I was nervous that I didn't think that I could do it. And then just being almost forced into doing it on live, I kind of was just like, no, I actually can do this. It's just like talking to a group of people. So I think it was just confidence, just being able to get up in front of a group of people and just be confident in what you're about to say and just say it kind of thing.
So do you think that it was like talking to the video screen was actually easier than talking to a live bunch of people?
To start, yes.
Like a good training way?
To start. And I think it's helped me now, the fact that we still do the live, it's helped me because I don't even think about it. It's just the mic's on my head or whatever, and I just don't even think about it. I just teach as if I'm just teaching a regular class. So it's just like you just ignore it.
That's amazing. We're proud of you. We're happy that it's worked out. I mean, it's made our lives a lot easier too, especially with everything that COVID's brought. We have an ability to move around. Mm-hmm. And one of the things we've done here, and I think it's a good move by us, and Dani and I talked about this forever, was making everybody train, but also have a different role in this business so that you understand the ins and outs. And anybody who's listening knows that a gym, if you want to work 40 hours in a gym and like pay your mortgage, your car, your school loans, all those things that you would have to work in the morning. I actually did this shift yesterday and I remember how bad it sucked because we were short Nikki. So I worked from 6 a.m. till 10 a.m. and back from, late afternoon until the evening and then back in again this morning. It's just not a way to earn a living. And it's actually helped us, I think, to grow. And that's why you guys are always so happy and delightful and bring it. Well, the exception of Dani, but yeah, bringing people to the floor.
She's smiling right now.
Last night was amazing because Dani and I worked the floor together for the first time probably since prior to COVID. I think just the two of us running the Amherstburg gym on the floor was kind of like a fun experience. What do you think? What are you most proud of with this team we've kind of put together?
For sure, I think the confidence level has gone up big time. And I think COVID was like a blessing in disguise in that way because Riley like just jumped right on board 100%, and it could have gone completely the other way. So I'm super proud of you, and just like you did that yourself. No one made you do it. You chose to do that, and you like ran with it, and that was amazing. And then Steph too, she has become so much more confident on the floor too, because we were just all forced to just do it. You just had no choice. It wasn't like the luxury of being like, well, I think I'll just sit back and do the books, or I'll sit back and do these things. Like the confidence and the decisions that you guys make for sure has leveled up completely because of COVID.
Yeah, I wish we had video of like Steph, like your first month or 2 months or even 6 months teaching, as opposed to like just last week when I came in here and I was just like floored listening to you. It's just, and I wish that of us too, because for sure we've improved. Dani and I, it's not just us, and Casey, you've definitely improved, and it's just awesome to see. And since Nikki's not here, we'll just tell a little bit about Nikki's background. It's another one who snuck in on us. Dani was all over hiring Nikki before she was like an apple in my eye, I guess, for the hiring to be our team. She kept like putting that name in, hey, what about Nikki? What about Nikki? And Nikki was a scholarship, or if not, I might be speaking out of turn, but she was definitely a star soccer player who suffered a real bad knee injury. She had an HK background, which I had no clue of. You never know.
You don't know that anyone, their background. Every time I ask you, you're like, oh, hey, I hired so-and-so. I'm like, okay, like what, tell me a little bit about it. And you're like, and then I read sometimes we get a resume and it's like, that this person has an HK degree, and you're like, really? Sweet.
I just know how to pick them, man.
You started the lemon stand.
I just know how to pick them. But yeah, Nikki was working at a physiotherapy clinic, and I think that was where she planned to stay. And Dani's like, hey, let's reach out to her about being, we were kind of at that point, we were big on having like a front of house, like somebody to welcome people, and who better than Giggles herself to like say hi to everybody. And then the same thing, we hired her, and then within a month, just like Steph, she was like working the floor constantly, and then really became our first real full-time. Marissa, who was our first hire, was probably our first full-time, but Marissa's where we learned a lot about, I regret a lot of how we handled Marissa just because of making her work day and night. She was worn out a lot, and as were we, but when it's your business, it's a little bit different when you got your nose to the grind. We learned a lot, and we corrected it, I think, with Nikki, which has been pretty sweet going so far.
So how do you guys find, like, with choosing people, like you talk about, like even the three of us, like didn't have a background in fitness per se, like, or banking or all these things. How do you end up turning those people, besides just throwing them into the fire, but into like good trainers? Like, how does that selection process happen, and what do you do to help us get or trick us into that mindset?
I don't think it has to do with us turning anyone into anything. I think it's choosing based off of your values and your personality. I mean, we always talk about, like, especially our background in policing, when you're sitting next to someone like this close to each other for a 10-hour shift or a 12-hour shift, like, you got to really like that person. And I don't care if you're sitting next to them or working day to day or every other day. Like, I don't want to hire someone who I don't want to work with. So, like, for me to be able to say that, like, I would work with every single person every day. Well, you guys know, because you had like a COVID bromance, but but like,
did our bromance
day in and day out, right? Like,
slow down
to be able to like to function properly and to really like feed off of each other. I think our team does that well, and we all kind of evolve. So I think that, like you were talking about with Marissa unfortunately had to deal with all the growing pains of the business, because she started from almost day one, let's say, right? So she kind of had the ups and downs and the trials and the tribulations, which is why she was kind of the guinea pig, whereas now it's like a little more fine-tuned, but not in such a, I would say, like a very specific way. It just kind of, we go by those values, and then everyone kind of like takes their part to help everyone evolve.
Yeah, we don't say that about Marissa in a negative way, that she was the guinea pig. It was us. The whole business was a guinea pig. She was our first ever employee. and happy to see that she's, she deserves a ton of credit for our success, especially in the early going and getting us rolling, and a lot of the hours and extra hours she put in for free. And now to see her succeeding and kind of chasing after her career has been awesome to see too. That's a real success too for us. I mean, we have Garrett, who's been hired with the police department. He worked, still kind of works here, but Garrett was a big part of what we did. We had Kiwi, who worked here almost full time for a year and now works for the Toronto Police. For us, it's not like, it was very hard to lose those people. I'll be honest with you, especially at the start. But now I kind of see it as a win for Dani and I. If you have a dream and you want to try to achieve that, and we're a stepping stone, and we maybe put you in a better place for that, I think that's a big one for us. For me, with hiring on the team, for this team, was every other team I've ever been a part of, whether it's coaching football or the SWAT team, I never really had 100% control of who we hired or who got on that unit. I had some say for sure. And the football I coached, we weren't out recruiting. It was whoever showed up. You made the best of what you could with those people. But here we're able to handpick based on what you bring. And we don't want a whole team full of pitchers and catchers. We need, people to play the outfield, people to play, back catcher, and people who are going to be on the bench ready to go. And since COVID, really let's not neglect all those part-timers. They're sitting on the bench, ready to go. They're in the dugout, and when they're called upon, they come up and they do everything they can to make this place better too. So we're really blessed in that regard. And all those part-timers have come from within this business. So I never want to make that mistake again, where we hire somebody just because we need to. I want to hire somebody because I want to work with them and I want to get to know them better. And hopefully they develop as a good trainer, as all of you guys and Nikki have, which has been outstanding for us and a blessing, especially through COVID, because you guys are the ones who were, that was a hard day for us. And you guys are the ones who picked us up and reminded us of why we started this place, and we got back on real quick. So, Steph, you worked in a ton of places.
Yes.
Right? So, I mean, you're not as old as me, but you're experienced, right? You've had some life experience. And what do you think is kind of different working here, under us, for lack of a better word, as opposed to at the bank or wherever else you've worked?
I think, here, our team building involves throwing axes. No, I think here to be honest, you walk in the doors and it's positive. It's always positive, right? You have your days where there's things bugging you, whatnot, but you come into the gym, and this was always, even when I was a member, it was always the place that as soon as I walked in, it was this relief, right? I came off your shoulders. And when I get to walk into work and help people mentally, physically, right? I did finances at the bank, and I did, I helped them in that way. But here it's different. I feel, I guess, more appreciated here. And it's just, we have fun, and it's always fun, right? Being in those groups, being in the workouts, coaching, chit-chatting with people, it's just, that's what I found different from the other jobs that I've had. It's hard work, definitely hard work, but I think it's just that positive attitude, and the fact that I can, jump in and work out with the person next to me, and you're sweating your ass off with them, and you can get them through that workout, and then they're happy when they leave. They have a good time. Yeah,
that is kind of underrated, the people, hey? During the pandemic, harder than being shut down, harder than trying to come up with a whole way of running the gym, was being, other than Casey, because I spent every minute with him, was honestly being away from you guys. And I remember the first time we had that team meeting when all you guys came back in, and how amazing that was. And then the members as well. Coaching them on the screen was great, but man, now having them, and I did the workout with the guys this morning. I'm working out with a doctor from the hospital, and I'm working out with somebody who's stay-at-home mom. It's just all these different worlds all coming into one place, and for the same kind of mission. Go ahead, Casey, you were gonna say something, cut you off.
I just can't. Steph said earlier that working at the bank was fun, and I can't
shake that.
On my mind.
Working at the bank at the beginning, we used to have a ton of fun, and then it started to change.
How could the bank be fun?
The corporate world.
The corporate world, yeah. It was not as much fun as this.
There's nothing hitting your numbers.
You got to spin the vault thing sometimes. I don't know. Yeah, make it rain.
Make it rain with the money.
I don't know. I don't know what bank you
Never
worked
knew
in.
a robbery was gonna happen.
No, always had to be on your toes.
I remember me and Steph went to the bank together for a meeting, and we're sitting in there like it was like a married couple, like you're sitting there like trying to sign paperwork or whatever, and the manager leaves, and I look at Steph, she goes, I can't fucking stand this place. And it was like, I'm like, isn't this just like our meetings? Because our meetings are like, you got to have thick skin. There's F-bombs being dropped. You're getting made fun of constantly. If you put out an idea that gets shot down, like, it's just like complete opposite, like, of what I feel like goes on in a bank meeting. No offense to the bankers listening, but it's just not how we do things here. We're definitely, Steph is the head of HR. And so that just kind of says it in itself. She's the one who's coming down on us for not being PC, as like NWA was blaring in here last night. So 30-day challenge. We did something. So we found that we were doing so many things for the members and for this place to try to get everything, up and running and going. And COVID was wearing on us. And the post-COVID was actually almost as hard as the COVID getting going and all the adjustments and the spraying of the chemicals and everything. So Danny came up with this idea. We need to do something for us. So we did this little 30-day challenge amongst our trainers. We're coming towards the end. We've stuck to it pretty well. Just to motivate us to, one, get in there training. It was hard for us to get into the classes because we only had limited space and we're so worried about keeping things clean, but also like taking care of ourselves on the personal part because you were so busy, the messages, the emails, the trying to get, everybody's reactivated and all those different problems. So a 30-day challenge, Daniel, where was that? Like, give us a little bit more of what we were supposed to do, what's gone on.
Do you remember?
I do. Man, you see these abs? Anyways. I just got the eyes. For those of you listening, I just got the famous Danny glare.
30-day challenge. I feel like, there's a big difference between day-to-day operations when you're in the gym versus COVID gym when you're at home doing maybe home workouts. So 30-day challenge for the staff is just kind of like, okay, be the example. We should be doing, or at least like kind of also participating in the activities that we create for the members too. So similar to like a 6WT, but not necessarily exactly the same. More so just putting all those puzzle pieces together for a really great lifestyle, right? So that can be, we allowed the staff to choose a couple of their habits that they were going to track. And that could be like self-development. That could be like something that you're going to stop doing or start doing, which is something that we do in our meetings as well. And then we did obvious things like working out and nutrition, water, that kind of thing. So I think that just kind of like making sure that everyone on our team was also staying accountable. And sometimes, even though we're coaches, you still need a coach in certain aspects. So making sure that even if it's just something that you have to click off on your computer or on your phone, that helps with accountability in those ways. So for me, when I chose my self-development, I decided I love to read. I just it's hard for me to make time for it. And that could be something to do with the gym. It could be something to do with my children. It could be something to do with just entertainment for myself. So I chose to read 10 pages a day. So it's something that's attainable. And then that way, once I got to my 10 pages, if I wanted to read more, I had more time, I would just read more. If I didn't, if I just had to kind of click the box, then that's what I did that day. And then another one was not scrolling while the kids were awake. So making sure that I was creating that accountability to be more present when I have my kids at home, especially now that they're home all the time for homeschooling. So that was two things that I got to choose. And then for nutrition, that was kind of loosely based because not everyone has the same goals. It's not always about weight loss. It's not always about, hitting numbers 100%. It's more about consistency. So that was kind of left to everyone's own devices, and they conferred with me about what they wanted to do, what their goal was. So for me, my choice for nutrition was to make sure I was more consistent with my protein, which is something I tell a lot of people to do. After my surgery, I made sure that I was doing a lot of paying attention to eating the proper foods. So I wanted to just kind of level up in that way. And then, what was the other one? don't know if I had another one. Oh,
Training.
physio and training. So I put those kind of together. So I would either be doing kind of a workout or going to my physio appointments.
So really like the pillars of life, I guess, without saying that, it's kind of what we focused on. Yeah, Riley, you just did a great post for us about, you have to work here, or you have to train here to work here, and we need to be accountable. And you are a prime example of that. I mean, Steph, you too. At the start, you did a 2K a day until you passed that Jim Jones standard. Yeah. And Riley jumped right in to her employment by jumping into the strength squad.
That being said, there's actually something that should be put on the calendar about that.
Oh yes, another thing about how we lead this place: public shaming. Public shaming. So the two
Casey
youngsters
and
here.
Riley have it's been going off on my phone for the last 4 weeks, I think.
It's a card on
notification.
Trello.
Yes.
Yeah.
They owe us a 2K each for reasons we will not disclose, but
So we all went with the training. We all had to do the training, which we stuck to, but it was getting really easy to skip classes. It was getting easy to skip your own work when you were focusing so much on everything else. So we all hit the fitness part of it. I was very happy with that. Riley, what's one of the things that you worked on for one of your choices?
Well, I'm in the middle of school right now, so one of my things that I was trying to stay consistent with was doing some type of schooling every single day. So not every week I have like a crazy workload, so it was just a matter of like reading part of my chapter every single day, just so I'm staying on top of everything, just being so busy working full-time in school, just trying to keep everything kind of making sure I'm getting all my deadlines done on time, so making sure my assignments are done ahead of time. So it was more just like keeping myself, and it's hard with online school because you have no teachers or anything telling you have to be in class at this time kind of thing, whatever. And all of my classes are, you just go and do them kind of whenever you want. So it was more just like setting a schedule and making sure that each day I'm getting everything done I need to get done. So that was kind of that part of it for me.
Good. And you've been killing it, like absolutely killing it. And we're crazy proud of you. Good job. And you're holding your end of this employment, which has been amazing. That's why Dani and I want to offer you a full-time job.
Thank you.
Oh, yes.
Yes. And a little bit of a raise.
well, yes. Well, yeah, you can think about it.
Cheers to that.
Obviously, yes.
Public shaming, public pressure, all the same.
Still have to do a 2K. Cheers.
I still got to do your fucking 2K though before any of that agreement comes in place. Congrats, Riley, and thank you for so much. And you've earned that spot very, very much. Case, what'd you work on, man?
Lots.
Casey's like, I'm
All right,
full
all right, we'll come back to Casey.
No, I had
Moving along.
mine one was reading, like getting reading more, because I was used to a lot before, but I started just like at night I'd be tired, so I'd watch TV in my bed till I like fall asleep. So I eliminated bringing like my laptop into the bedroom to like watch stuff before bed, because it was screwing up my sleep, which I learned pretty
What were you watching? Never mind. Keep going.
Really?
Keep going.
Educational flips.
Keep going.
So reading more was like my next. It was 10 pages a day, but then once you start reading, you kind of get into it. So it's been good. I'm on like second book this month, which is great. And then just sticking to a better diet. Like my diet's always been decent, but it's not consistent enough. So besides from my trip to the zoo 2 weeks ago,
And
it's
Saturday.
been pretty steady. And the
Cherry
weekend,
blasters.
and the weekend here and there, it's been
OV
it's been
and cherry
consistent.
blasters.
Good work. Yeah, and thank you to Kim and Carrie for supplying endless amounts of cherry
Yeah.
blast. Or like I don't know. I feel like
blueberries and
oh,
cherry
all right. Speaking of goals, Steph, what'd you go with? What's the one that you're most proud of that you worked on?
This was really personal. So communication. So life gets busy and it's hard in our house because our kids are in sports and we're always on the go. So like communicating with Craig about our day or our planning for our week and the kids, taking the time to like Dani said, like actually be present and listen to them. So this one's ongoing and there's good days and bad days, but it's just making sure that every day at some point, whether it's like in the afternoon, because Craig's home sometimes during the day, or it's at night, we're trying to like just have better communication. So just talk, and it could be just shooting the shit, or it could be like planning something or whatever it is, just chit-chatting. So it's just making sure that at some point we try to sit and talk, or I'll try and sit and talk with the kids and actually like not have my phone and not be doing anything else except focusing on them. So there's been good days, bad days, but it's just, like I said, it's ongoing, and that's a big one for me. So,
But it's just like people with fitness, like it's good days and bad days, but eventually you have more good days than bad days, and eventually you have mostly good days and very few bad days. And so anything that you work on, if that's the main goal, make it happen. And I have 2 wives, 2 mothers, and a guy who's been married and has a couple of kids too. I mean, it's very important, I think, to shut that down and to make it happen. And we have in our house, it's espresso time. Hey, is it espresso time? Yeah, that just means we're going to stop everything we're doing, spend 15 minutes to just talk, just hang out. Sometimes we barely talk. It's just a matter of hanging out and shutting it down. Good for you, Steph, for doing that, and thank you for sharing it. For me, my big one, and I came to a realization about 5 days into this. I went with the read 10 pages. Not so much because I wanted to read more, because I do read quite a bit, but because I wanted to shut down my brain, like stop working for 10 minutes or stop thinking about everything that I want to do in this world. And it wasn't working for me. So halfway through, I shifted and I went to meditation. I kept the thing the same, but I switched it to 10 minutes of meditation a day. And something I meditate, but not often. And it's something that definitely helps me. I think you could see the difference almost immediately in it. So stopping. So I always say that on here, like stopping can be blocking out from everything and just, sitting in a quiet room. It could be meditating, it could be reading, whatever it is for you. But I think everybody should take an opportunity every single day to kind of shut it down. And it's amazing how much better you work after. And then like the ability to for you in the marketing stuff, and for me with all the emails I'm writing, and same with you, it's just allows me to like flow. I can like write a book after I meditate. It's the weirdest thing. You just like, you're so able to do these things. So with what's Nikki's? Anybody know? Doesn't matter. She's not here. Just kidding, Nikki. But what was for every challenge?
we love you, Nikki.
We know. She knows we love her. How could you not love Nikki?
You're on fire today. You need to meditate for a couple minutes. Let someone else talk.
I've been working a lot. This is my freaking podcast. It's named after me.
Take a 5 minutes. Just
Right now.
ring the bell.
Right now. All right. Fine. Go, Casey. Go. I'll take 5 minutes off after I read in this episode. So fill up your drinks. So I read in this ad. Sorry. Let's go up. Find my Stephen Kidd ad. Try not to butcher it for you, Steve, today. Stephen Kidd, financial advisor. Does your financial advisor take the time to really listen to you? Is your financial strategy personalized for you and your family? Will your financial advisor be there as your life and financial situation change? When you work with Stephen Kidd, your local Edward Jones financial advisor, he focuses on what's important to you. You'll work together and use an established process to create a personalized financial strategy backed by the advice, tools, and resources to help you reach your goals. And you'll partner to help your strategy stay on track. Contact Stephen Kidd today at 519-734-8599. That's 519-734-8599. Edward Jones, member, Canadian Investor Protection Fund. Wow, I did it.
Been the best ones.
Like, that's a shout out to HQ Nutrition, because I've been using their new nootropics, their cognitive support thing. Focus, HQ Focus. This thing's awesome. I took it like 10 minutes before I came here, and I'm freaking dialed in. All right, go, Case. What do you got?
The reason we're here. So with every challenge, there's a winner and a loser, and then or a celebration as a team, because we're doing this as a group. Why are we doing this? What's the prize, Dani, that you've, I think we came up to over a few drinks by a kitchen table one night.
Take it easy.
What is the prize?
I can't believe you amaze me. You amaze
You brought
me.
a hat today.
I know, but I didn't know that was the thing.
I don't think that's
But now I do
that
know.
cognitive support thing. I don't think that supplement's just for men. You
That's
can use it too.
communication.
It's in the cupboard. Go ahead.
We can't be the same.
You're right. God help us. Anyways, go ahead.
So we decided that if we achieved a reasonable amount of consistency, that's what I'm going to go with, because I haven't looked at the numbers. A reasonable amount of consistency would mean that we're going to get, drum roll please, staff tattoos.
In true garage gym leadership fashion, public shaming, public pressure, and now tattoos, team tattoos, and not really a choice. Like,
No,
Nikki doesn't even
no.
have a tattoo.
No, and she was like, oh, I guess I'll do that. And we're like, okay. perfect. Like there was no like, well, you don't have to if you don't want to. It was more like
what do you want to get?
what do you want to get that the most that you want to get that you like? What would you agree to?
And if you don't know, we'll give you one.
Right. So Pete,
So we put a memo into HR and it was approved.
Staff outing was approved.
Stamped.
Yes. So our friend Pete Bailey loves doing. I did a group event similar to this with some of my girlfriends. We all got tattoos. So why not? You know, it's a team.
And
We're
that's
like
the plan.
family, and that's what we're doing.
So what's the tattoos like?
Luckily, it's not just the logo, and everyone gets to pick their own thing.
I wanted the logos. I'm not gonna lie to you. Danny overruled me there.
It was definitely inspired by one of Riley's newest tattoos, which is what?
Take it easy.
Take it easy written on her ankle.
Yeah.
And just so when she puts her feet up, she can read it and make sure
Just
she's doing the
remember.
right thing.
Always
Yeah.
taking it easy.
Yeah, it's just a reminder. It's
Yeah.
you know, it's like those habits that you
Yeah.
check off.
Yeah.
It's like a you know,
She got that after she missed her shift, right?
she will be looking at it when she's rowing.
Yeah.
So tell her about the parameters around these tattoos, Danny.
So yes, it was inspired. We kind of talked about like, oh, I like that tattoo. Yeah, me too. Yeah, me too. And then it evolved into like, okay, that will be our team building experience. And then we all came to the conclusion that everyone would have their own say, sort of, in what they were going to get as a tattoo. It's all going to be in the same style, let's say. But it just allows us to do something fun together. And some of us are willing to pull from a hat because we decided that we're just going to, you know,
Just because.
fuck it.
We're just gonna take it
Just gonna
easy.
take it easy.
Take it easy.
Take it easy.
Yeah.
All right.
Someone who takes it easy.
All right. So today we are
from the
here
hat.
to disclose those tattoos and pull from the hat. Correct.
Sure.
All right.
Sure.
Let's do it.
I'll do the
Let's
honor.
do it.
There's actual hat.
Should we start with Nikki because she's not here, right? I guess somebody does anybody have their phone on? Maybe we should send her a text or get her on FaceTime. Is that a possibility? Too much, Case?
Well,
You could.
yeah.
She's not expecting it though.
Right.
Yeah,
Just call her.
maybe a call.
Just call.
Maybe a call.
Our
Have the
son
camera.
Braun offered a hat. He knew we were doing a tattoo thing and pulling from a hat, so he
What
was
are these fancy hats called?
fedora.
Which is a hand-me-down from Steph's son Ty, and is well used because the kid wore that the first summer every single day, like he lived in Florida with his brown skin. He's so tanned. All right, so this is Nikki. Do we get to
Wait.
hear her choices? Can you,
I'll tell you. Well, do you want me to tell you the choices ahead of time? Oh, we're calling her.
yeah, I'd like. I think we'd like to hear what they
Yeah.
are first,
This
right?
is
And then
for
we can.
described audiences.
Then we. c-
Since we're on audio.
What's it
people
called?
can't
Viewer
see it.
discretion? No. Never mind.
Viewer discretion. Those are
Viewer
those are different shows.
What are you about to do? Where's your tattoo going?
Bend over.
That's you.
All right. The head of HR. Yes, that's the head of HR. All right, Nikki's not answering. Let's roll. So what's Nikki's
Okay.
got?
So her choices, and some of these are not her choices. Some of these are just we gave her
Oh,
choices.
wait. Hello.
Hey.
We're live.
Oh God.
We're live on the podcast. Here we go.
Okay.
All right, Nikki's choices
We're
were.
rolling
So-
your choices.
Her choices are easy breezy, smile with a smile emoji, sort
Like a
of.
parenthesis and a
Yeah, like
colon.
a
As the I and L.
thing. Yep, and then short and sweet.
Oh, that one.
Yeah. So
Who
if
got
you
that one? Who gave her that one? That's a
I
sick
did.
one.
One.
But if you didn't choose like a few to pick from, then I just chose for you.
Yeah.
Oh, here we go.
Okay, so
You're on speaker, Nick.
Easy breezy. Easy breezy.
here we go. The choice from the hat. This might be rigged. Smile with a smiley face.
Oh,
On her lip.
I mean,
And the inside of her lip.
where's it going, Nikki? Where's it going?
Spin the wheel for that one.
Spin the wheel.
Spin the wheel. Where it's going?
I don't know. I think on my arm.
Oh, you sound terrible. Okay, on the arm.
let you
You're
go.
muffling on your
On
phone.
the arm. You're really going a long way to fake this.
Okay, we'll let you go.
All right, who's up next? Go by seniority here. Should we start with the youngin?
Riley.
Yeah.
So,
So,
I want to
okay.
interject with a different idea. You pick what you want, and you draw out a hat who writes it on you.
No. Oh,
This is already
No.
decided. Get out of here. Go back to the soup.
No.
Do your 2K and shut up.
Nice try.
Usually I'm with you. There's no way you're writing on me. Anybody who comes to the gym is listening. You know Casey's handwriting. There's no way it's going on my skin.
He was
As
gonna
much as I
practice
love
with
him.
Sharpie first.
Oh, good.
That
Good.
was one of my tasks.
I'd rather let one of my kids left-handed write on me. Anyways, go ahead. What's Riley? What do we got?
Okay, so we have 3 options here. So far, so good.
My favorite.
My personal favorite. It is what it is. Okay, second. And then let it be. That could be
Awesome.
that could be foreshadowing.
Isn't that like a
Eventually,
song from the Frozen movie? What is it?
Let it
Let it
go.
go.
Oh, okay. I thought. Close.
It's a Beatles song.
And the winner is Steph. Do you want to read it?
So far, so good.
Yeah, all right. She's so pumped about it.
So excited.
Where's this baby going, Ryan?
I think I want to put it on the back of my arm.
So the bag, like,
Okay.
she's showing over
Like
her
my
elbow,
elbow.
tricep area.
Yeah.
Since now she's got these jack tries.
Triceps.
All right, who we got here? The kid?
Casey.
Nice.
Okay, so Casey's choices are.
Who wrote these choices?
Me. Okay. Born to chill.
Nice.
Good vibes only.
Yeah. I like that one.
Gnarly.
Oh, I know what my vote is.
I want them all.
Good thing we were actually going to, instead of pulling from how we were actually going to vote and like, you know, like pick for each other, but then I don't know, someone next named that.
And you can't look at it until it's done.
Oh my god. Okay, the winner is Steph.
Good vibes only.
Woo!
Yeah.
Hey.
Where's that one going? We want to know. The ladies want to know. The ladies want to know.
They'll find out.
Where's it going, McConaughey?
We'll see. That's to be.
To be determined.
To be determined.
Funny story. When Casey first walked in for his interview, Steph was here, our head of HR, and he walks out and she says, "Hire him. He looks like Matthew McConaughey."
And sounded like him.
Whatever gets the job.
When I close my eyes.
Wait, he's still here.
All right, who we got?
Christ. Okay, so we got Steph here. She's got a number of choices.
Shit.
So,
That's number 2.
one choice. Can you read this for me?
Yeah.
Okay. Second choice is fire starts with sparks.
Mm-hmm.
Third choice, Riley, can you read this one?
Wild.
I chose a couple in there. Okay. Next choice,
Fireball. Yes.
and the final choice, sunshine and whiskey. All really are
Really deep.
good Steph choices.
Yeah.
And the winner is
Fire starts with sparks.
Nice. Ooh, Craig's gonna be so happy. Craig's gonna be so happy. Where's it going, Steph?
Where's it going?
Yes.
Like side rib.
Side rib. Ooh,
Yeah.
painful.
Side
Painful,
rib,
but it'll be
side
small. You'll be
painful,
fine.
but it'll be worth it.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we're all getting the same font, right? That's what's making this comment. Did we mention this? Yeah.
Yeah.
We're all getting the same font.
Chalkboard.
Sorry.
Oh shoot. Okay. So this is mine. Okay. So I have three choices. Oh yeah, I was gonna put actually like the Moxie's logo for wedding cards. Like Moxie.
Steph and Danny both worked at Moxie's. They have this in common. So, anyways, keep
Next time.
Next time.
Next year end.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So first one is going to be RBF.
What's that mean?
Appropriate. Resting bitch face. Yeah. All right. Next one is going to be Take It Easy.
Yep.
Ode to Riley's actual tattoo.
Yep.
And the third one is Alpha.
Nice.
Ooh.
I like it.
Tony's getting beta.
Oh. Well played. Well played.
You should have heard some of Casey's suggestions for you.
Well played.
And the winner is Alpha.
Nice.
All right, so that's meant to be.
Now we don't have to pick yours. Okay, so Tony also has 3. His are all in caps because that's the way he lives his life.
Is that the first one? That's
All in
really-
caps?
That's good. Yeah, it would be another one that Corey would do.
Okay.
Level 10.
First one is going to be boom. Second one.
Tony is just smiling. Like
He's like,
the ear right
do you
now.
really like all of these equally?
I could care less what ends up on my body, you know that. I mean, never mind, but go.
Okay.
That's how we met.
Well. Number 2 is no chill.
I'm the opposite of chill, yes.
Yes. Yes, no chill. And then third one is live a little, which is, I like that one too. And if we get live a little, where are you putting it?
Yeah, if we get live a little, it's going on my ass.
Pete's
I'm not
psyched
gonna-
about that one.
Yeah, Pete's like, great.
I might put them all on my ass just so Pete has to has to do it.
Okay, Steph's actually gonna pick, so I can't rig this one.
I'm guaranteed an ass tattoo if Steph's picking.
Live a little.
Are you serious? Did you rig this?
Oh!
All right.
No.
So the head of HR has just guaranteed I will pull my pants down in front of the staff again.
Again. And you sound so upset about it.
Grab those shots. Let's do them up.
No cameras allowed.
Yeah, no cameras coming to this event.
We should vlog that the whole day.
Vlog what whole day?
The-
Oh, like
our
make a YouTube
outing,
video.
Yeah.
So while Danny's pouring out these shots, we want to read in, speaking of a good team and somebody who's been here and helped us to get this whole thing going, especially in Kingsville. We're going to talk about Murray Insurance. This episode was also sponsored by them, and they are Murray Insurance and Financial Services in Kingsville, Ontario. They are Southwestern Ontario's #1 ranked Desjardins insurance agency by their clients, and they're owned by the Garage Gym's own Kingsville OGs, Ian and Kara Murray. Ian and Kara's team prides themselves on many of the high standards that the Garage Gym members have come to expect. Not the standards we've talked about in this episode. They are experts in their industry. They have over 100 years of combined experience. They have the best customer services in the industry, including claims concierge service, which is exclusive to their clients. They also focus on community, employing local team members and investing back into the Essex County community on a continual basis. They are a one-stop shop for everything to protect you, your family, and your assets with the best policies in the industry. Oh, and they have an incredible rate, especially when you combine your home, auto, and other insurance policies together with them. Give their team a call or send them a text at 519-733-2331, or you can check them out online at murrayinsurance.ca. You can also find them on all social media platforms. All right. Great episode so far.
I'm excited. I can't wait to get a tattoo.
I cannot believe that we are going together as a team to get tattoos. I think that is like, honestly, I went to a seminar and this guy spoke. Martin Rooney, I had you guys listen to him. Remember during COVID, we listened to him. And he spoke about having all these people line up to get tattoos. And I think that is like incredible. So it starts with this one. We're going to get that Garage Gym logo somewhere on all of us at some point. I know it.
Our ass cheek.
Oh, mine will be taken already, but yeah. So I think it's
You
like,
getting this?
I think it's like the ultimate. Let's focus. It's the ultimate, respect thing. I think for us, and just to say how close we all are, and I can't wait to do this with you guys, and then go grab some probably drinks and some great dinner somewhere downtown after. So cheers to you guys. Thank you for everything you've always done. Riley, welcome to the team.
Yay!